Rachel McCord, executive producer, host, and creator of the McCord List Today. Hello and welcome to the McCord List Today. I'm Rachel McCord, your talk show bestie. I'm so happy you guys are here. Hi! It's so nice to meet you if this is your first time here. And if you've been here a bunch with us, then you know this show is all about bringing light and love to you in your life and to encourage you to make an impact in the world. You have a message, you have a story, you have a purpose in this life. And I want to be a part of facilitating it so that you come for it. You do what you're here for. You don't sit back in the sidelines, sitting back in the shadows. I think one of my little superhero gifts that God gave me is to help people get unstuck. I can see when people are stuck and they're ready to jump, but they're afraid to, or they think they're not ready. And I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. So I am here to help you do that and to do it with your whole heart, to do it with a fullness of your spirit, to know that you're not alone in this world. I don't know what you believe. I'm a God girl, so I'm always looking up and looking in and saying, how can we keep on doing? How do we work together in this beautiful life to make a difference in the world? You guys will hear me say it all the time. I'm here like every single day doing these fun talk shows with you. And the heartbeat of it is to encourage you that if there's one moment that you can take a break for 1 hour and just feel the love and feel the light and feel the joy. I have so much joy in my heart. And if you knew my story, if you knew where I came from, the pain, the depression, you'd be surprised at how joyful I feel. I don't feel like I even smell of smoke. That's what you say when you've been through the fires. But when you have really found the pathway to joy, you found the pathway to hope, you've got to share it with the world. You've got to put it out there. You've got to make an impact. You've got to make a difference. And I think a lot of it for a lot of people we deal with, there's hope deferred that makes the heart sick. And if you're not doing what you're here for, then your heart is going to be sick. It's going to be sad. You're going to struggle with finding the pathway. And I think that the most beautiful thing that we can do for ourselves is to listen to the song of our hearts, to listen and find our space and the needs that we have within us, the story that needs to get out into the world, and give ourselves permission to do that. Give ourselves permission to be bold, to be brave, to push through the fire so that you can get to the other side. I am all about that beautiful gold that is refined through the fire. God puts a fire in your heart, and you're going to see the fires and the storms of this life. But as you go through it, if you can decide that it's going to be okay. And I know that some of you right now, you have been facing some major sadness, some major grief and loss and discouragement. You're faced with chaos and questions. And I just pray for clarity over you. I just pray that things change, that you get visions and words and messages of hope and joy that come within your soul and give you the beautiful peace that passes understanding. It is available to each and every one of us. It's up to us if we want to make our hearts fertile ground to hear these messages and to do something with them. The greatest wisdom in the world does no good to the person who will not hear it. So I pray that your ears be opened, your heart be opened, and that you find within yourself today the joy, the openness, and the hope that says that I can push through. I can do this. I hope the stories today encourage you as you do that, to know that there have been people who have faced some storms. There have been people who have gone through the ups and downs. I live in Hollywood well, technically I live in Marina Del Rey, but to people around the world, they hear that I live in Hollywood. That makes more sense. But technically I'm on the water side. So I get to be in this beautiful little bubble right on the water. I open my eyes and there it is, the gorgeous, gorgeous Pacific. And I come into Hollywood, I'm in LA, and it's a city where there are so many ups and downs. We call the entertainment industry the industry. It's kind of like the industry of the whole thing. Everyone knows the entertainment industry out here. So you face this industry that kind of tosses you through like a bit of a blender. You've got the ups, you've got the downs, you've got the questions, the difficulties. You're going to go through these moments in your life where you're like, what am I doing? I'm rejected all the time. I'm struggling. I'm trying to find my way. And you might feel like you doubt yourself. So I'm not talking to you as someone who hasn't faced the storms. I grew up with really difficult challenges through trauma and trailer parks, and I have found this hope and this peace and this joy that passes understanding. And so when I come into the wildness of having my own talk show in Hollywood, which is such a blessing and such a joy, but when I do that and I'm constantly putting myself out there and the pressure and all the stressors I face, it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to feel like giving up at times. But I think the message here is that, like, wherever you are, whatever you do, you're going to face these ups and downs. Maybe it's not your daily life to face rejection. So when you face it, it might feel debilitating. It might feel all encompassing. It might feel like this is too much for me to go on. Well, as a God girl, I would tell you to get into the Word of God. His Word will not return void. Even if you're not even interested in that, even if you're like, Rachel, no, thank you. Like, that's not my world. But like, what's the worst thing that could happen? If maybe you say a little prayer and say, God, if you're real, would you show yourself to me? Would you pop up to me? And maybe open up a Bible. Maybe you've never opened one before. I love the book of John personally. That's like my favorite book. I love John 17. It's I think it's a love note from Yeshua, Jesus, to us. He's praying for you. He's praying for me. He's praying for the body. He's praying for us who will come to know his love and to be transformed by it. And I think about how as we tackle whatever comes at us, whatever we do in this life, we can hear these beautiful love stories that give us the encouragement, give us the wisdom to keep going and to level up in a way that is not like the typical way, right? Most people in business, they're like, level up, get it done, work hard, make it happen. But I think there's a bigger call. There's a bigger invitation for your heart. I think it's a message of resting where it's maybe been some wandering. Maybe there's some clarity where there's been confusion. And if there's one thing I would want for you, I want you to find that. I want you to find this joy to blanket around you. I think that a lot of people, they struggle themselves, or they see their loved ones struggle, or they're faced with big decisions, big obstacles, and they don't know where to go with it. And so I feel like there's such an opportunity for us to find those hearts, those orphan hearts, and to love them and to see them and to bring them back into life. I'm excited for today's show, y'all, because one of my good friends, Cuthbert, she is a beautiful model. She's an entrepreneur, but she also is an advocate for animals. She goes out and fosters these sweet animals. Over 200, I believe, is what she told me. And she loves them back to life. She loves them back into community so that they can get adopted in the right home to feel loved. And I know so many of us feel that need in ourselves. We need someone to love us back to life. Hurting people hurt people. And if we can feel loved, if we can feel truly known, it changes everything. And the truth is I think that if you read that scripture that I told you about, no matter what you believe, just read that, John 17. But also, like, if you just know that truthfully, there is so much love for you in this life that's already here. Like, it's not like you have to work for it. It's literally already here. And I think about that, and I think about how much work we do every single day to feel like we can earn that love. But the hack is that it's already there for you, and you don't have to do anything. You just need to receive it, and I love that. I'm also really excited for our other guest, David Christopher Lee. I've known him for a long time. He actually filmed me and did some photos in Palm Springs at Coachella one year, which was such a blast. I had so much fun. He's such a creative. Oh my goodness. But when you hear his story of how he has just overcome thing after thing to be invited to do the Teen Choice Awards as the official photographer, he was literally the first digital photographer who gave a picture to Britney Spears. Like, her first digital photo, he took it. How cool is that? He has been on the front lines of media and content in the world, in the industry, where it is so overwhelming and so discouraging at times, and the ups and the downs and the rejection. that he's pushed through and he's living his dream. And he's got a lot of wisdom to share. And I cannot wait to talk to him on the show. I hope you feel inspired by it. I hope it just grabs you and you know that you're loved and you're seen. And today's show will bless you. That's what I hope for today. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. I'm Rachel McCord with the McCord List today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. I can't wait. Welcome back to the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord, sitting down with the David Christopher Lee. Oh my goodness, hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm so good. I am so excited to chat with you. I am blown away at all the things that you've done. Obviously, we worked together first in Palm Springs, doing tons of video and photography content. But it was so fun, like getting ready for this interview and seeing all the work you've done with Lady Gaga, Richard Branson, and being the official photographer for literally all the award shows. What on earth? How did you get started?
Well, I was in high school and I won a national writing competition for Scholastic. The prize was writing articles for 17 magazine and $5,000. So I started writing for 17 magazine, and this was back in 1999 when that magazine was so big. It was like bigger than Vogue. So I started doing CD reviews and movie reviews, and then the Teen Choice Awards was coming up, and they happened to be hosting it. So I asked if I could cover the Teen Choice Awards for them, and I told them that I had a digital camera, a Nikon Coolpix 950. It just happened that they were looking for a digital photographer, and they asked me if I wanted to be their official digital photographer. So that was my first award show, and I had an all-access pass. I was taking the most exclusive pictures. I was taking the celebrities' first digital pictures. So I remember showing Britney Spears her first digital picture ever. So that was pretty iconic.
That's incredibly iconic. And how cool is it that you just asserted yourself? You're like, hey, can I do this? And what an incredible story. And how old were you when you did that first competition?
I was 17.
17 years old. Mm-hmm. And then you went on and became a writer and photographer with 17 magazine. So tell me a little bit more about your journey and how you've navigated the ups and downs in this wild entertainment industry.
So I always see it as you always have to seize the opportunity, and you need to put yourself in the place where your dreams have the highest probability of coming true. And for me, that was around celebrities at award shows, at exclusive parties. So that year I became the official digital photographer of the People's Choice Awards, the American Music Awards, and a lot of the other major award shows. So I was definitely in that scene. And there was no competition for digital photography back then. All the photographers told me that they would never switch over to digital, which they all did in 2001. They told me that digital wasn't good enough quality. But you know, it just happened that everybody wanted their pictures fast. So I was the only photographer that people could go to get their pictures the next morning. And so that's why the magazines loved me. So I started shooting for Rolling Stone, Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, GQ, like you name it, I was shooting for them, and I was writing for them. And so that just led to so many different opportunities. And then I started another website called Destination Luxury, which is an online travel publication. And that's when I started working with hotels and restaurants and lifestyle companies. And then I got into video, and I just love telling stories when it comes to writing, photography, video content. I'm there to get people's stories out there.
So beautiful. David, what does success mean to you?
Well, success means being able to live your passion, to live your dreams, to elevate people around you, and just be creative and just live in the moment.
That's incredible. Okay, what advice would you have for someone who is putting themselves out there? Like, you do such a great job of helping the artist feel comfortable as you're sharing the inner parts of their story with the world through media. What advice would you have for them if they're trying to get comfortable out there?
Well, the only way to get comfortable is to just practice and practice and practice and practice. If you like something, you know, you might not be the best at it, and you might be good at something, but in order to achieve that I wouldn't call it perfection, but almost perfection, or to be really good at something, you have to keep on doing it over and over and over. So for me, um, when I was shooting for all these major publications as a photographer, I didn't really have any experience as a photographer. So I just learned as I went. And so I read a lot of photography books. I would go to Barnes and Noble and read all the photography books and learn as much as I could. And then I would go and take the pictures and then just look at them and try to figure out what I did wrong and how I can improve as much as possible. So I would just say practice makes perfect.
That's great advice because I think that the biggest challenge a lot of entrepreneurs face is in the consistency, right? Of seeing the vision and wanting to do something, but then as the weeks go by and it starts to feel mundane and exhausting, you're tempted to quit. And I think that mentality of growth, obviously you were researching so much and leaning in so much, but that mentality of growth and pushing forward, I think is the key to really keeping things going.
Yeah, and the other thing too is not to be too hard on yourself. You're going to fail, but it's okay. That's what we're supposed to do. So,
How do you manage your time and the responsibilities that you have? Obviously, you're pulled in a million different directions.
well, I'm really good at living in the moment. So, if I feel like I'm tired and I don't want to do anything, I can definitely relax. I love to meditate. I love doing the Om chant. It really calibrates me and puts me back into center. And so I feel like I've learned how to really manage my stress.
That's incredible. Teach me your ways. I love that you talked a lot about in the beginning how you really got started, you asserted yourself and you pushed forward. And I think about how so many of us were desiring to do our passion, to live our passion and do what we were created for. But there's so much that holds us back. What do you think is the number one blocker for most people on achieving their dreams?
Well, one is just how we're brought up, and it could be from your family, it could be from your friends, but a lot of times when you want to do something that's so out of the box, very different from your peer group or your family, you're going to get a lot of discouragement. But I would say just believe in yourself and just keep on pursuing your dreams. It doesn't matter what other people think because you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing it for other people.
Oh, that's so powerful. I feel like I want to do a whole masterclass with you. I just love everything you're saying. I'm like, you are like a sage. You're so smart. Okay, what do you think has been the driving force in your career that's really like inspired you every day?
Well, I think it's really my parents because I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. So my dad was a teacher and my mom had a t-shirt business. And so one of my favorite childhood memories was we used to sell t-shirts. So we would sell t-shirts of dance, drill, and cheer back in we started in like the late 80s, and we were selling sweatpants with dance and cheer on the butt. And we were the first. So we're like at a lot of these places, we were the only vendor. And what I learned from them is that you have to go into, well, for entrepreneurship, you have to go into areas that there's not a lot of competition. So basically, we're developing that market. And once you develop that market, you can dominate that competition. And so, or you dominate it. And so, there's this competition called Miss Drill Team USA, which we would go to every year. And once those doors opened at 8 in the morning, the girls would come running in, and we would be collecting $100 bills until midnight that night. So we would come back with like 30 or $40,000 worth of cash in the 90s, like the early 90s, and just that feeling and that rush of like having that product that people love. And it's very rare now that you'll ever get to have that experience because people don't pay with cash. But having that tangible cash and just that exchange, and it's just like it was so magical. So I remember that feeling, and it's just it really motivated me for sure.
That's incredible. How do you feel that intention plays a role both in developing your career, but also in creating the most beautiful pieces of art like you're doing with videos and stills?
Well, with intention, you have to know why you're doing something. So you really have to look into your heart, and just you have to have that feeling. Like you need to know what the feeling is that you're trying to create or recreate. And if you do things based off of that gut feeling or that real feeling, then everything else will just manifest on its own.
Wow. What legacy would you like to leave behind?
I would love to be an inspiration for young people to pursue their passions, because I was lucky to have that support from my family to, to pursue my dreams. I mean, my dad's the one that got me my first press pass when I was in middle school for, it was a hockey game, and I did that, for my middle school newspaper, or yeah, something like that. And when I had that, the backstage access, I got to see the locker room and all of that. I just love having that access. And so from there, that was really the start of everything.
Wow. What would you like to take on next?
What would I like to take on next? Well, I don't know. There's so many things, but I'd love to do more, work more with different causes. I'd love to do more high-end fashion. I'd love to shoot more celebrities. I did a photo shoot, or I did a shoot with an indigenous tribe in Colombia called the Mamos, and I traveled to Colombia. So we went to Bogota, then a 2-hour flight to Santa Marta, then a 6-hour bus ride, and then a 6-hour Jeep ride at 6 miles an hour deep into the jungle where the Sierra Nevadas intersect the equator. And we were with the Mamos tribe for 2 weeks with no electricity. So they showed me all their meditation spots. They showed me all of their sacred spaces, their ceremonies, and I would love to document more experiences like that, because it was so grounding, and I've never experienced anything like that in my life. And my friend Alon Torres, who's the one that taught me how to meditate, he's the one that orchestrated this incredible experience for me.
Wow. Thank you so much for being here. How inspiring. I cannot wait to see what you tackle next. All right, you guys, don't go anywhere. We will be right back on the McCord's Today. I'm Rachel McCord. Welcome back to the McCord's Today. I'm Rachel McCord, and I'm really excited, y'all, because I am sitting down with my friend, Kelleth Cuthbert. She is the amazing model and activist for all things animal. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Great to
being
be
here. I feel like I haven't seen you since we did the road trip.
I think so.
It was the road trip to Coachella, wasn't it? Or was it Magic?
We did
the road trip to Magic. Yeah, because I have that
fun.
really cute video of you. So you guys, this is so fun. She came out to Magic in Las Vegas, where I was moderating the show. You were amazing. You were like modeling your way through the whole event. It was incredible. It was fun. We did all these stops and all these photos along the way in a big party bus.
Yeah, we did the little abandoned water park. Remember that?
We did. That was wild. I think we did an In-N-Out run as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Or was that the other trip?
Maybe it was the other. Yeah, there was
a lot of fun.
It was funny. The first one, I wasn't pregnant, so I was a little bit more immersed in the wildness.
Were you pregnant on the last one?
On the Magic one, I was.
No
yeah,
way.
yeah. So little man was
Yeah.
there with us.
Yeah.
He was just in a different form.
Nice.
Yep. And you have been modeling for so many years. What has it been? 18 years now?
I think just a little over 18 years.
Wow.
Scary how time flies.
Yes, and how incredible. It's typically an industry where there is so much like shortness, right? It's like you come in, you do it for a hot minute, and then you're out, and you have just sustained yourself and created such an incredible career.
Yeah.
What is it like doing what you get to do every day?
It's a lot of fun. The industry has changed and morphed so much since I started. So when I started in, I think it was 2007, it was made very clear to me in a very direct way from agencies that modeling is something you do from, your teens to 22, 25 if you're extra lucky, and then beyond that, unheard of, not possible. And so I'm 37 now, so to have outlasted that and to still be doing it just blows my mind. I didn't know it was a possibility at the time. And obviously things change over time. The nature of your career changes, the types of jobs you do change. But I think it's really exciting that everything has moved in a direction where that's even possible.
It's beautiful. And I've always enjoyed our times together. Like since our first lunch that we did in Beverly Hills,
Yes,
I remember
that.
sitting down and be like, she's just so professional and articulate. It's no surprise to me that you have continued to succeed and take on new platforms because you're you're such a beautiful light inside and out. And it's just been really enjoyable to watch your career. I think that's kind of the joy of having these long-term careers is that you actually get to see people ebb and flow in their different journeys and celebrate all the wins.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And it's been awesome seeing just all the different projects you've taken on and the way your career has grown.
I've done a few. It's been a little wild.
You keep busy.
Yes. And speaking of new projects, you have really rescued so many animals. How many animals is it now?
I volunteer with Pacific Pups Rescue, which is a Los Angeles 501c3, and it's all a foster-based organization. So through them since, I believe, 2018, I have helped rescue, I think it's 231 dogs. There's a couple of those are cats, but mostly dogs.
Wow. And
But
how
yeah.
did you get involved in this?
I fostered kittens when I was a teenager. So we used to get the little like bottle babies that you bottle feed from the Toronto Humane Society when I lived there. And I had kind of a slow winter modeling wise. I think back in 2018, I had a couple months where it was a little slow and I was like, you know what? I think I was traveling a little less and I was like, I think I'd have time to maybe foster a dog or something. And I looked online, found a variety of dogs, and this one dog named Pablo really stood out to me. He was like a very spicy, mean Chihuahua. And I was like, I don't know, there's something about this dog. He had cute little eyebrows. And I contacted the rescue, and they were like, yes, Pablo desperately needs a foster. I ended up fostering him, and it was such an incredible experience that I adopted him. And after that, I was like, I want to help all of the Pablos out there. And yeah, I ended up adopting another. And then I immediately had asked the rescue if I could start transporting dogs, pulling dogs. So I would spend a lot of my weeks driving to mostly the Inland Empire area where the euthanization rates are so high. So we would pull dogs from those areas. I would always go for one dog, two dogs, leave with a car full of dogs, sometimes up to 5, 6 at a time. So
Wow.
racked up those numbers quickly. But yeah, California is really out of control with just the overpopulation of animals problem and just issues with people not spaying and neutering their pets. So it gets very out of control very quickly. But it's nice how many people there are here devoted to rescue, though.
Yeah. What do you think is the bigger problem? Is it not neutering and spaying? Is it breeding? What do you think are the biggest challenges?
I think it's both of those. I think there's a lot of understaffing at shelters. Like some shelters you'll go into and it's like very difficult to find an employee that can help you if you are interested in adopting or rescuing or if you have questions. So there's just a lot of underfunding for the shelters. Definitely a community problem with people not having access to the resources they need to spay and neuter their pets. Definitely a lot of backyard breeding here in California. And I also think I have noticed the introduction of a lot more programs aimed at helping people with low cost or free solutions for vaccinating pets, spaying and neutering, even like pet food programs for people that are low income. And I think more of that would definitely be helpful in terms of incentivizing people to keep their pets when they're in a tough financial position instead of surrendering them.
Wow. I think of little Pablo. Pablo is his name, right?
Pablo, yeah.
And how so many of us, we are in this transitional season of our life. We've seen a lot, we've done a lot, we've been hurt a lot. Hurting people hurt people. Of course, animals who have been hurt, they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And so I think of how the foster role, I've fostered one dog before and my whole heart like ripped out when I had to give him to his mom. I mean, it was great that we found a home, but I was headed to an event and I was like full makeup, fake eyelashes, and I was like, just like ugly sobbing in the car.
I've been
and
there.
It was a mess. It was a mess. And I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of ripped my heart out. And I still miss him. I see his little face. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you've done it this many times because, you know, I think the foster journey is so important, not just to bridge the gap. Because we think about, oh, we're bridging a gap and helping to provide resources for that in between. But it's actually, in my opinion, so much more about rehabilitating the animal.
Yes.
Helping them start to feel like they can trust someone. And I admire your work.
Thank you. It's also I feel like fosters are so much more helpful than they even realize too, because sometimes you'll pull a dog most of the time actually from a shelter and you'll get next to zero information about them, especially if they were found as a stray. You're at best getting maybe an age estimate from the shelter vet. You're not getting really much information about their personality, their likes, their dislikes, how they behave with cats, dogs, children. So putting a dog in a foster home, getting that direct feedback from a foster of like, what does the dog enjoy? What commands does he already know? Does he like children? Is he friendly with all people? How does he do with strangers coming into the house? That information is so helpful and really helps find an appropriate adopter in the end, and somebody that's like a great fit, that's really gonna like connect with the dog, keep them long term, and just be happy with that decision.
That makes so much sense. I think about how that information is probably so helpful just to be able to make sure there's a right fit, because you don't want to place them and then it not work out for anybody, because that's difficult.
Yeah, it's very tough. I feel like it's with animals, it's a little bit like dating, in that you kind of have to test the waters, and fostering is a great way to do that. You can try, fostering a variety of sizes, of breeds, of personalities, and it's a good way to kind of think, if you're thinking of adopting in the future, it's a good way to kind of see what sort of a dog fits with your lifestyle.
Yeah. Speaking of your lifestyle, when you're not with all these amazing animals, can we talk a little bit more about your work?
Yeah.
It seems like you really lead from your heart when it comes to your mission work. Is it also in that with your career?
Yeah, I definitely. I feel like my career has been kind of just I've talked to a lot of people recently, and I realize this is certainly not a unique phenomenon, but I've drifted from various passions in life. Like I went to school for social work, and I was working very briefly in mental health and addictions counseling. And I think just the ebb and flow and the weaving of passions and careers over time, I don't know, I really believe that in life it's okay and encouraged even to have multiple interests, and kind of to flow from thing that you love to thing that you love, and for that to change over time. And I think with modeling, that was kind of something I had never thought about doing, and it was just an unexpected direction that life took me in. Same with acting, which kind of was the natural progression from modeling. And I don't know, I love doing a variety of things. I love like just that freedom to pursue any interest that kind of crosses my mind.
Beautiful. What's next for you?
I have always fathomed myself a writer, so I've been working for a long time. I kept like a series of really detailed journals when I was younger, and I've kind of been flipping through those and sort of trying to piece together a narrative of my life. I have in my mind this book of essays that I've always wanted to create, and I've started writing it. I'm maybe about a quarter of the way through now, but I want to weave a telling of stories kind of through the narrative of odd jobs that I've worked in my life. So I've had a lot of very weird jobs.
I love it. Kelly, thank you so much for coming in. What a beautiful story and inspiration to all of us at home to go adopt, don't shop, and also foster.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you,
guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the McCord List Today. I'm Rachel McCord. Welcome back to the McCord List Today. I'm Rachel McCord. I'm so excited, you guys. I am sitting down with the most beautiful woman. She's the Persian American pop star shop. How are you, beautiful?
Great, Rachel. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a dream come true. I've been wanting to come on your show, and it's finally happened. We're here.
I'm so excited. Okay, what is the phrase you just taught me in Farsi? What do I say?
Azizam.
Azizam. My darling.
My darling, my love, my dear.
I feel like we've moved forward quickly then.
I know.
I like that. I'm already your love.
Yes,
I'm here
you are.
for it. Sorry, hubby.
So, yes, we gotta have to share, okay?
You're so beautiful. I
So are
love
you.
your spirit and your vibe, your heart, your music. Like, wow.
Thank you so
Wow.
much. I'm just excited for all of it.
Yeah. Congratulations. Of
Thank
course, One Suitcase is a huge release right now. I
my
mean,
gosh, yes.
what a gorgeous situation you
Thank
have right
you.
here. But there's such a heartbeat to your story, and I was so excited to sit down with you. I love what you're doing. Can you talk about the story behind One Suitcase?
Of course. So really, One Suitcase is about my life. It's about womanhood. It's about liberty. It's about love. And if people always ask me, describe yourself in three, what would those three things be if you would describe yourself? And just coming to America for new life and finding freedom. and love, obviously. But I feel like it's just been such an amazing journey to get here, and I'm just feeling like one of the blessed few that was able to get out of Iran and the situation. And I just want to make something good, you know. I just want to bring more joy and fun and dancing and excitement through music, and music has been always healing for me, so I want to do that for others.
Wow. So you immigrated here as a refugee.
I did.
As a young girl with just one suitcase.
Yeah.
And that really inspires the story.
The story really just goes to quick elevator pitch I can give you. My father was one of the senior executives for the petroleum company in Iran, and I was just like literally born. I was 6 months, and the revolution happened. The fundamentalists just took over. They burned his workplace down. They kidnapped my brothers. They were shooting out of my house every other week. And my father, because of the stress of it, at 52, he passed, leaving my mom with 13 children. So then my mom had to figure out, we became instant enemy of the state. They froze our accounts, and so she had to sell all her jewelry to help, to fetch for the family for that time, because all the other kids were super tiny. So, but yeah, and after that, there was the Iran-Iraq war, and she said, okay, we got to get out. And we became refugees to Turkey, and then waited for my green card to go to Germany. So went to Germany, was there for 5 years, and my green card was finally ready, and I hadn't seen my brothers, sisters, or my mom in almost 5 years. And I was reunited with them at 14, from 8.5 to 14. I was like, Mom, look, I'm fully grown, Got on a Lufthansa flight with a tiny little suitcase, which you can see on here. We found the replica online.
Beautiful.
And we used it for the prop. And so everything I owned in the world in a suitcase, speaking no English, getting on a flight by myself, went to JFK, then my green card was in my hand. They sent me to another flight to Baltimore, and I was reunited with the family again, and it was like God just gave me a new life. And because of all the days praying and waiting, it all paid off, and so I was just so grateful to be reunited with my family.
Wow, what an inspiring story.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm almost I'm trying not to tear up, because I imagine what you went through, and then hearing just the gratitude in your heart. So many people, I think, they struggle with difficult things, and they don't know how to detach from it and decouple from it. And you've not only faced the unimaginable. I mean, losing your father alone is such a tragedy and such a devastating experience, but then to also have taken that and to lose everything you've ever known, and to travel by yourself and do all the things, and then now share it in music for people who are struggling. I mean, our world is so broken and hurting so much, and I think of myself as a little girl struggling. Music saved me.
Yeah, music has saved me too. I feel like we all have had childhood trauma. We have adulthood trauma, and it doesn't mean one's life story is more dramatic than the other. We're all human at the end of the day, and we're going through these emotions. We just have to be a little kinder to one another, and just, and believe that there's something good out there. And like I said, music has always saved me, because one of the reasons I remember when I was 6 years old, there was the bombs happening, and the louder the bombs got, the louder our music got. And so we were just dancing, we were just put ourselves in a little bubble. And that's when music taught me, oh my God, I can transport myself, close my eyes, listen to the music, and I'm not in this place, I am somewhere else. It was the best feeling in the world, that I was able to just go somewhere where it was just no war, it was beautiful, and it's this place of haven just for me and my brothers and sisters, and you literally transport yourself to that place, and it's transformational. So music has always been that for me, and I wanted to do something that I could give back to the world. And our gifts are not really for us to keep, our gifts are to give to others,
Wow, what a beautifully inspiring story. I was literally going to ask you, what do you feel like is that moment that really shaped your life? And it sounds like it was that moment.
Yeah, it was, definitely, 110%.
Wow. And you have so much faith. You talk a lot about that. Can you share how that's helped you as you've navigated this incredible life journey?
Thank you. I think that my mom and my family really bestowed that on us. And we have family that's Jewish, we have family that's Muslim, we have family that's Christian. So we're just this beautiful melting pot, and they're all so beautiful and loving. And I'm Zoroastrian, so it's good thoughts, good words, good action. If I can just remember those three things when I walk out the door, I'm good, you know. So, but yes, I have big faith and I love God. I respect God, and I always feel like when I see somebody, it's like I'm seeing it with the eye of like love, and that's why God always keeps little hints for us. So when you look at yourself in someone's eye, you see your reflection. It's not. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
It's like we're all one in a sense. He's always leaving little clues for us how we're all so connected, and we're all one at the end of the day.
Yeah, my thing is I had open heart surgery last year, so I see hearts everywhere. I see them appear in water. I mean, all over the place. One time I was like brushing my teeth, and there was like a perfect form in toothpaste of a heart.
Oh,
So I see that, and you know, God is love, and there's just so much that unifies us, and I love that you're using your music to do that. So can you share a little bit more about what you're working on right now?
Sure. So our album has 21 songs. We had so many songs to pick from, but it's just really telling the story of my life as a woman, like coming to from an oppressed country, coming to a modern world and trying to find myself again. And it was challenging because I didn't know how to be a woman. I was ashamed of my body. I was trying to always hide it, or I didn't feel comfortable in my skin for the longest time. And my kids teach me so much every day. And I think it's about womanhood. It's about, you know, forgiveness. It's about love. It's about freedom, liberty. And I literally kissed the ground I walk on. I mean, America has just been my saving grace, and I'm so grateful for this beautiful and amazing country, all the hardworking men and women that make it so great. And I love you, America.
Wow, what a beautiful story, and what a beautiful perspective. I think it's easy when you don't know what it could be, right? I mean, I can't imagine what it felt like as a child, like hearing bombs. Like I think about my son, and like, you know, it's like devastating to imagine and to see it. You see it in the news, you know, it's like we see so much, and every time I do, I just pray, and you know, and I get kind of overwhelmed, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I get so sad because, you know, it's like the bravery that you must exist from. And I think about it, and I think, you know, with my role, like I lead the McCord's Media Network, I do this show, and it's like I'm always trying to do two things: share beautiful stories and help people share their beautiful stories, right? Like that's what I'm trying to do. And I meet someone like you, Shab, and I just think, I really hope that you continue to share your stories, share it through music, the song of your heart, because you have there's something different about you. There's a beautiful heartbeat within you, and I just hope people get to experience that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. And I just really, what my hope and prayer is, I feel like there should be no competition. You know, every flower smells beautiful in its own way and looks beautiful. How can you compare two flowers, right? And I think we all have our own stories when we come to this world. We just don't know who we're inspiring. And at the end of the day, it's not about competition. It's about fixing the other person's crown and let her shine, and you can shine together. And it's about supporting each other more than trying to put the other person down or compare. Comparison is a thief of joy, and I think we should just all just give more love. I honestly feel like love will save all of us.
I completely agree, 1,000%.
Like, seriously.
Absolutely. I love the example of the flowers, because one beautiful flower is not competing with the next.
Yeah.
What's coming up next for you, Shab?
So One Suitcase, we have a song that radio just picked up. We're super excited about it, and we're going to get some numbers soon, so we're going to post that. But Lipstick is really a fun song. It's about a woman that knows her worth, or a girl, and she, you know, when she puts her lipstick on, she's like superhuman in a sense of like invincible, you know. And I know I've had some bad days, and I go out and I just put that really beautiful lipstick on. I just feel like, I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm good to go, you know. Or just writing affirmations on the mirror and just write, you're beautiful, you're worthy, you're loved. Or maybe leaving a message for your lover, be like, I can't wait to see you tonight, XO, with like a kiss on the mirror, you know. I've done that in the past, so, you know, with my husband, obviously. But he's like, who else?
Yeah.
That's just you. But yeah, I think it's just really about a woman that's empowered. She knows her worth. She's beautiful inside and out in her authentic way. And it's not just all the makeup and everything always, right? It's really about how you shine from within and your authenticity, because people see that. And that's even more beautiful, than just, you know, the fake eyelashes and things that we do sometimes as women because we want to feel like beautiful. It's none of that. It's really that light that shines from within, and a great lipstick.
Yes, girl. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much.
doing this show.
Of course, that's my pleasure, Rachel. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. That is our show on the McCord List today. We will see you next time.